Hi there. I want to come on here to talk about the idea of manifestation and what the Course in Miracles is really saying when we think about manifestation. If you've been on the path for a while, if you've struggled with manifestation, if you're like, some things I get, some things I don't get. And I come to this and I'm inspired to do this video because I just recently watched a video on manifestation and I got curious to see what the message was. And really, ultimately, manifestation could be a good step in the path of discovering the power of the mind. If we've been at a victim level, let's say frequency of understanding the world, and we think we're at the will of the world, and we think everything happens to us, and we don't feel in control. We feel, like we're a victim to things happening around us, right? And that's what we see, and that's what we innerly feel and think at the deepest level. Then coming across something like manifestation could be very empowering, right? Very useful in the path of awakening to your own power, to your true self, because you're stepping out of a victim mentality. And yet it is just a step. But so many of us think that that is the final thing. Like, if I get this down, if I get this manifestation technique down, if I learn how to manifest, then I will truly be happy. But what we're saying is we will truly be happy dependent on the things that we get, on the outcomes. And that's where manifestation is tricky, because the truth is that we are always manifesting. We are just literally, by existing, manifesting life, right? The mind is going, imagining, creating, right? And things manifest by wherever we are, whatever frequency we are, by our belief system, by the state of mind which we carry. Things are. This entire world is a manifested world, right? And so this is to say that it's important to realize the power of the mind, but we cannot stay on the control. But we're still, if we are in manifesting, when it comes to looking at manifesting as achieving objectives in the world or outcomes in the world that will then make us happy and fulfilled, then we still have more to understand about manifesting, and that's okay too. This has been my experience, and I know a lot of people on the path have come to know this after trying manifesting for many years, and getting it sometimes and not getting it. And what it really comes down to is that each one of us has a script. The Course in Miracles is teaching us that we each have a curriculum that is set out for us, that is set out for our awakening. And in that curriculum, things are to be the way they are to be. And that's how they are. And if it's in front of you and things are happening to you, and things are, or let me be careful with the word to you, right? Things are happening in your life, whatever's in front of you, it's for you, right? It's for this. This is part of the curriculum. This is what's here. And coming to understand that there is a curriculum, and the true sense and understanding of manifestation, it's actually tricky. Probably better not even to use the word manifestation, because manifestation seems like we have some level of control. And true liberation and true healing comes from relinquishing control, comes from stepping back, stepping into humility and letting the divine lead. It comes from becoming an instrument, letting thy will be done, letting God's will be done, letting Spirit guide, right, our way, because it has a perspective, an understanding of the unfolding of all the things that need to happen, so that we can ultimately be truly fulfilled, and not by certain aspects and things in the world happening or us getting them. That may happen, it may not happen, but it's not about those things. It is about the relationship that we're creating, this like living conversation that we're having with the divine, with God, in everything we do. It's like this emanating frequency. I mean, you can it's just a state of being where it is no longer I decide the persona. Steph is the one deciding here, right? By the way, if you've watched this far, I'm Spirit Led Steph. If it's your first time here, welcome. I forget to introduce myself sometimes, but I'm always glad to have you. And if you're on here, this message is for you, right? Spirit works in beautiful, mysterious ways and allows us to reach the messages that we need to. And this is a real big reason as to why I've joined YouTube without any specific intention, rather than just to listen to the call, to speak my heart, and really feeling ready to move forward and express these ideas and these lessons and the things that have gone on throughout my story. And so, yeah, back to this idea of manifestation. The underlying desire that manifestation is leading us to is to finally truly become an instrument with the divine. That is what we're really, really wanting. That's the prayer underneath. The Course in Miracles would call the prayer of the heart. Really, it's like an emanating prayer of our true desire underneath, which is always God. Love. Unconditional, pure love. That is our final desire. We may think of all the things and forms and, the house, the couple, the relationship, the car, the job, the trip, the things in the form that we think will bring us that fulfillment, that only that desire and the answer to that desire will actually bring. We think, and this is literally the whole human experience in play, is us discovering that it was never about the things or the outcomes. And it teaches us again and again, whether we get the outcome or not, that it's about our relationship to the divine, that it's about our relationship to trust, the inner posture that we have towards life. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we always get it perfectly right, in the sense that we're within that conversation, doubts can come up. Within the listening and the trusting, we may have desires that come up and darkness that comes up. Yeah, that's good. That's part of it. Literally, these things that you desire are leading you to, literally your desire to have these things and your call and your attraction to it are leading you to healing, to releasing concepts, to forgiving things about the world and about yourself and about others, right? A deeper version of forgiveness, like the Course in Miracles is teaching us. It is a radical acceptance of what's here. It is a forgiveness of the world that we have ultimately manifested in a dream to keep us separate from who we truly are, thinking that all the things is where our gold is where the nuggets are, when truly Spirit is saying, no, let me use all the things, because you clearly believe in all the things, and that's okay. I can meet you where you're at. I can meet you in what you believe, in your culture. I can meet you in the things, wherever level you're at, whatever frequency you're at. I can meet you, because I'm not limited to anything. But my objective is to bring you out, expand you, liberate you, so that you can come to know yourself more and more as this one spirit, as the oneness that you are, in connection to all things. But the only way you can do that is when every time we get a lesson of surrender, we get a lesson of trust. And manifestation can keep us back from those lessons because we're stuck on an outcome. But the real truth of the step of manifestation is to lead us to then relinquish the idea of outcomes, or the way this thing is supposed to give me this, or supposed to come at this time, or I'm not happy till this. It's like relinquish. Why? Because it's bringing us back to the present moment, to what is here. And that present trust of what is here is part of that living conversation that we're having with the universe, that we're having with God at all times. And we're surrendering over, and we're stepping back from the personality that we think we are, and that, the mask that we're putting on for the world of what we have to become to be worthy, and what we have to look like for that partner to come to us. No. It's all internal. The work is internal. And so the entire spiritual path is leading us towards an internal work again and again. And then that internal work of dispelling, of coming to see the illusions that we and the concepts that we've grasped onto and believed so tightly. We start to loosen our grip, and then those chains start to break, and then we become more free. We expand more, and we're like, wow, I wasn't limited to that idea. We're not limited to this idea. Wow, we are connected, right? We get these revelations, and they expand us more and more, ultimately to show us who we truly are more and more. And we can get a full revelation of God and the love of God and the heart of God, right? And then be taken out of this experience of this dream into true revelation of knowledge. Or it can happen gradually. It depends on our script, on our curriculum, as the course is teaching us. Each of us has a curriculum. So that is really useful and helpful to know. And I thought I'd come on and share that ultimately our truest desire, it could be in this lifetime, it could not be in this lifetime, depending on what's, and I say lifetimes because consciousness is always moving, right? And the sleeping mind is something that we're all accessing at all times, and it's the programming that's coming from the past, and it's taking over the present and repeating itself into the future. But when we have these moments of expansion, of liberation, of healing of the mind, right, of coming to know ourselves more and our brothers more, and the truth of what it all is, right, all a stage for true healing and for liberation, right, for the light to just take over so we can know ourselves. When we come to know that that is the ultimate objective, then I lost what I was trying to connect that to earlier. Maybe it'll come to me. But then yes, we ultimately come to understand the purpose of all the things and the not getting the certain things that we thought we wanted, because spirit ultimately knows what we truly deeply desire, and it knows the path and the curriculum that needs to unfold for us to come to know that. And yet we can live that curriculum from a state of ego, fear, or we can move through that curriculum at a default frequency, right? It doesn't mean we never get doubts or we never have darkness, right? I mentioned that before. But at a default frequency of trust, of regulation, of really being at peace with what is here and welcoming what is here for my healing, and seeing how that takes me back to the present. Because when I welcome what's here, past is gone. Yeah, it can hurt me not, like the Course in Miracles says. If we really choose to just be present with what's here and release the stories of the past, release the lessons that we've learned from the past that we're bringing into our present. No, blank slate. That's when we allow the I am, that spirit mind, to come in and truly speak through us, move through us, act through us if it's necessary, depending on the moment. It could be non-action, just receiving, right? So we become more vessels, and our true fulfillment is in being used, is in being in that complete oneness. That is what we're being led to. So let's try not to get caught up on manifesting and think that manifesting is the end of the things, because then we get the things, some of them, maybe all of them, depends on our curriculum, and then all those things have more lessons, have life will, through those things, bring up things, because it's not about the things, it's about the mind in relation to everything. The healing is here first, and then it affects everything else, because once we shift 444, everything shifts. Not because it literally physically changes. It might sometimes, and this is something we can get caught up on, but it might not. So that's why it's a real deep invitation to trust. a real deep invitation to letting life unfold for us. And the best way, in my opinion and in my experience up until now, which is all I can speak about, is the less I know and the more I get taken care of, the happier I am, because I'm not in control, because Spirit is surprising me, because I knew that I didn't put my force and power and control over getting this done or figuring this out or manifesting that. No, no, no. My true desire is to rest and to act in the world, but from a place of restfulness, from that living conversation you show me. What would you have me do, right? What would you have me say? Who would you have me speak to, talk to, bless? Those are the words of A Course in Miracles, and that is what we're being led to, and that is where our true happiness lies here, because it rids us of the identity of the persona, of the body, of the separate vehicle, and we step out, we release that, and we step in to oneness, into the atonement, into the connection with all things and all beings and all of it, because we're not judging. When we trust, we can't judge. If you're trusting, you're not judging. One can't exist with the other. So when we are in full trust, we're not judging. So yes, and maybe I'll make a video about when judgments come up, when doubts come up. That's okay too, but we'll make that for another video, because that's part of the process. That's part of what comes up to the surface to be released and dispelled, because it never truly was what you thought it was. That's the healing. So love you all. Just a little note on manifestation and where it's truly leading us here, not to the desire of the world, not to desire the things, but the desire to trust deeper and to become one with the Spirit. That is where the real fulfillment is, in living that trust of God, that trust of the divine, and taking a step back. Love you all.